welcome back to my channel. My name's Yvonne, and if you're not already following me on Instagram, you can find me at the.unravelcollective, where I ask my audience or followers to submit questions for the monthly Q&A with the Ninth Dimension Arcturian Council. And what we usually do is ask questions for the collective to get guidance. And this month I decided to go ahead and allow questions that were personal. So there are going to be a couple of personal questions as well that we get guidance on today. And I'm going to leave those to the end. So if you're not interested in a personal guidance answer, then you don't have to watch the whole video. But I would recommend sticking around because we can always learn from one another, right? So today we're going to be covering topics like the Schumann resonance, the role of social media, and the recent change in government. And so what I've decided to do this time is to actually give you a glimpse into the actual channeling process. So I will ask the question submitted, and then I'll tell you a little bit roundabout answer about what guidance was given around that, and then I will show you a little clip of the actual channeling and what they directly shared with us. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the first question is by @MaryMooneyArt, and I'm going to be looking at my laptop for reference here, just so you know. And the question is, can you speak to the role social media plays in the collective and how to use it optimally? So what the Arcturians shared with us about this topic is that social media is, as we all know, a very powerful platform, and in many ways it can be easily used to manipulate us and sort of numb us to ourselves and hypnotize us. And so this can be quite a disservice to those who are unconscious or who are trying to avoid our feelings or our fears or taking responsibility for our experience in life. And social media can be a very easy escape for that, as well as the entertainment industry. And so what we see is that social media on both sides, as a content creator and as a consumer or audience, are going to start using this much more mindfully. What we're going to be seeing is a shift in how we are creating. So as our vibration rises, they said, we will have less tolerance for things that are not authentic, that are not real, that are not genuine, that are not from the heart. People who are creating work that is more about power or greed or manipulation or trying to skew information will start to lose audiences, because we are not going to be a match for that type of frequency any longer, and we won't tolerate it any longer. So what we're finding is that in the future, what they'll have to do is shift into the higher frequency of what we are demanding from our consumption now. And so I thought this was really interesting in that energetically, we won't be tolerating the things that operate in these lower frequencies anymore. And so anyone who is creating out of a lower frequency energy is not going to be retaining their audience any longer. So let's take a look at the channeling and see exactly what the Arcturians shared with us. Now, what we're seeing here now, as the energy shifts on the planet and as the masses begin to undergo a transformation, we will begin to see more of responsibility being created on these platforms, more of a mindful investment, one, where people will now, as we said earlier, begin to not tolerate things that they once tolerated, because the frequency that they are undergoing, the transformation they are undergoing, will not match things that they once felt were entertaining or once felt they wanted to put their energy towards. This will begin to feel very uncomfortable or not tolerable any longer. So you will begin to see people shift into a letting go of things that do not now match this certain frequency. It will just not feel like something they want to do anymore. We will also begin to see people begin to understand this, that they lose followings because they are creating content that is not of high consciousness here, or that resonates with the heart of what is true and what is authentic and what is of love. And so we will begin to see that there will be a shift in how content creation occurs. We will now begin to see that if you are creating something that is of a more 3D frequency, one of which is of more manipulation or dishonesty, or something to try and capture your attention, try to maybe perhaps keep you in a state of hypnosis, that you will find you will not have a good, effective retention of the audience any longer. And so we'll see a shift in what is created. We'll see that what will be demanded now from those creating content on social media or perhaps in the entertainment industry will be one that is a little more high level frequency. Okay, so I think that's pretty exciting, right? And I think I can already see this beginning to happen in some things that are being created now. And so they also said that as we continue to transform our consciousness, that what we will require from whatever we consume will be something that can be experienced as exploring and moving inward and connecting to each other. So I think that's really awesome. Wonderful question. Thank you. Okay, so question number 2 by @TownDarling, and she asked, anxiety and creativity, motivation, has been feeling so intense lately. Can this be attributed to the Schumann resonance fluctuations? And how can we best flow with the variety of symptoms that seem to accompany the electromagnetic changes being reported? So they did share with us that, as we all know, the Earth is undergoing some incredible energetic shifts. And of course, that impacts our bodies, which causes us to also shift in our energy levels and consciousness. And what's interesting is that they also said that we actually, the Earth and us, influence one another and support one another in these shifts. So I want to show you that clip really quickly. Yes, hello, yes. So as you are aware of, yes, the Schumann resonance does record the fluctuations of the energetic grid occurring on the Earth plane. It records the energy frequencies of the Earth, and as you know, there are many shifts occurring at this time as it begins to expand itself and its consciousness in order to support and expand with you and your consciousness. So you are both supporting one another at this time, and you both, of course, have what we would call you have influence over one another as you support and move through these shifts together. So here's the thing that we would say, that yes, there is indeed an expansive energy occurring, not just for the Earth, but that you are also picking up on. Pretty cool, right? So another thing they mentioned was, and I'll just read this, that the intense energies that are needed in order to make a breakthrough or have a breakthrough in the transformation that's occurring, and what's required for a breakthrough to take us to a whole new level of consciousness requires a great amount of energy. So the Earth is gradually giving us more and more energy, even though it feels like intense. It's actually gradually occurring for us. That's transforming and changing our bodies. And so the body needs to integrate this energy. We'll all experience some symptoms along with this, like fatigue or headaches or whatnot, body aches, nausea, this type of thing. And so what they said was, this is really just your body integrating these energy shifts, and energy changes much more quickly than the body can or does. So this is just your body trying to catch up, or it needs to. It's not trying, it really needs to catch up with the energetic shifts. So let's go into a little bit about that specifically, what they said about that.
And so the earth is slowly, although it does seem to be intensely, it is gradually giving you more and more energy and frequency to work with, to integrate, to assimilate to become comfortable with within your own bodies. This, of course, as it transforms your actual frequencies and your actual cellular matter, your actual energetic makeup, it will, of course, cause the body to have symptoms. And this can, of course, as you know, show up in many ways. Many of you are feeling fatigue, tired, headaches, migraines, nausea. It can show up in many, many ways. Muscle aches, pains. What we say is here is to not be too concerned with these symptoms. Simply care for yourself through them, as they are quite physical and they do require attention. So care for yourself in any manner you feel can help you ease the symptoms. Now, we also want you to know that the symptoms are simply the body shifting and changing and again integrating into this new energy, into this new frequency.
So they also mentioned not to resist the integration occurring within the body as it changes. So try not to be angry or frustrated or annoyed by any of your physical symptoms, but rather find grace and compassion around them and do what your body needs in terms of self-care. Because the more that you resist with any type of energies like anger or frustration, the longer it'll take for your body to integrate these new energies. So good question. Thank you, Town. All right, question number 3 by Jody Healthy Heart. Was the change in the U.S. government for the better? The spiritual community seems to be so conflicted. What they said was, in terms of how things unfold on the earth plane, there is no better because ultimately nothing is good or bad necessarily. So that's just a label and a perspective that we place on things. Everything is really just what's so, and what's so is what is, and there's no good or bad about it, right? So there's not one individual that is better for the collective of the United States. They said it's really up to the energy of the people who make up the consciousness of the United States. So this is an opportunity to look within, they said. The spiritual community is looking at its shadow side right now. And everything that's occurring is because we're always moving towards light. Just like a plant moves towards the sun, we are always seeking out the light, and our consciousness does the same thing. So let's play a little clip and hear exactly what they said directly.
Sometimes seeking out the light means that we have to move through a period of darkness, or a period of acknowledging a shadow aspect of ourselves. And so what we're seeing here is there's going to be a shift in an evolution where, of course, there is a disagreement among us, perhaps, of our perspectives, a disconnect, perhaps, of ourselves, not just from the other person holding a perspective that is different from ours, but a disconnect from a perspective within ourselves as well. So what we're seeing here is an opportunity to integrate both sides, to integrate and understand and hold a neutral ground in which we can hold each other and understand each other on a deeper level, in a deeper sense, where love is of the utmost importance, and where that love opens the capacity for moving forward in a consciousness where we can observe, perhaps, the um, 3D realm of drama.
So I forgot to mention that that video froze. So great face I'm making there. They also mentioned and gave me the visual of an eagle. So the point of view of an eagle up high above everything can see down and hone in on a very specific vision, but also see the bigger picture. And so they enlikened us to, is that a word? Likened us to being the eagle who can kind of look down and see the role we're playing and how we're participating in our environment, in our community, and what consciousness are we creating. So they said that the president isn't the one that we need to be looking at for the source of our energy or for what we need to create in our communities, but rather we need to be looking at ourselves. All right, thank you for that question, Jody. Okay, so the last two questions are personal questions submitted, and one is by Melinda Dioria, and her question is, what is the most aligned focus for my business right now? So the Arcturians shared with you that you're truly exploring being free with yourself right now and expressing yourself, and what you're currently undergoing is a transformation of the throat chakra. I'm going to go ahead and share a little clip of your channeled message right now.
That you are currently undergoing a transformation of the throat chakra in which you are truly expressing yourself with freedom, and you no longer feel a fear or hesitancy. No, in fact, you are ready to truly call out everything that you see that needs improvement or, in your perspective, needs some type of correction. And so, what we see is that there needs to be a focus on continuing to explore this idea for yourself. Continue to be open to the idea that you are capable of seeing things that others cannot see. And so, we want you to release that this observation you have, this very keen observation you have, is not one of judgment or criticism, because these words can come to you as a perspective that is negative, perhaps, and this is not what you want to put into the world. You are not one that wants to put negativity into the world that comes in the form of judgment or criticism. However, we would like you to change the perspective of this observation you have and see it as a positive aspect in your gift, in your ability, in your capacity to actually see that which is something that needs to be transformed, that needs to be corrected.
So that's really cool. They did say that they would like you to focus on sharing, expressing, and communicating these things that you see in the world, not just in the collective, but also within your clients, because this is where the greatest transformation will come from. This ability to really observe those tiny spaces that need tweaking or need a transformation. So thank you very much, Jody, for submitting that question. Okay, the last question is by @Mary Mooney Art again, and her question is what to do with all this new information besides build sculptures. So basically, they just said this is a question that only you can answer. For as everything unfolds for you, you will know what to do with the information. It's not for them to say, for there's always free will and choice here. So there is a reason for the barrage of reception of this communication, and this will continue to unfold for you and be very important in the future as a contribution to society and the community at large. However, it really is based upon the soul imprint of what you would like to create with this information. So they did say that this is the time to see how I want to contribute to the earth at this time. As an artist, you have many avenues to take to contribute to society, and they are most powerful and of greatest benefit, depending on what you choose to do. Only you can choose, they said. If they were to say how to use this information, they would be interfering with your own soul's path and creativity, and the creativity of your unique frequency that can only come from you. So you must choose how to utilize and create this information that's actually coming from your own self from another dimension, you are informing yourself with information that you will now use to create in any manner that you choose at this time. So I hope that you liked this new way of presenting the questions and the answers. Please leave me a comment and let me know if this works for you. I'm totally willing to go with the flow and see, and try different things. And I really enjoyed this. So again, if you're not already following me at Instagram, please go to @the_Unravel_Collective, where every month we will do a Q&A with the Ninth Dimension Arcturian Council, and you may submit your questions as well. So look forward to April, and I'll see you then. Bye.